Looks like we're live. Hello, everyone. It's
Bonjour.
been
Hey.
a little bit since we actually properly ran, but we're back. Does someone want to do a recap?
Oh, we're gonna dig into that nest here. Yeah, so we got the hell out of the library.
What library?
The dungeon library.
The Labyrinth?
I was not there for that.
Yes, you were. One
I
episode, but
was?
you were.
Yeah, one episode. You and I were going to go fly around and get the rest of the magic items real quick. We ended up doing that. With you off camera.
Okay.
Cassius, who is not with us today, has a ring that you might be interested in.
Hmm.
But we made it back to town. Everything seemed to be going all right. Samuel brought some family into town. We made it, who might be workers, one of the council.
Okay.
Yeah,
I missed a lot.
We made it back to the manor, where the ward of our magic card making friend
Yes.
had arrived.
That I remember.
Sorka locked herself in the library for a hot minute.
That does not surprise me.
And I think we were getting ready to I think we had like one more meeting with the council or something. I don't
You had a
No,
meeting with uh the you have a meeting with Paolo. You haven't met with him directly.
Oh, right.
Yet.
Yeah. So to discuss potential employment of his people. That pretty much covers it. It was a slow session last one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, Paulo is the wood elf father of Samuel. Is that everything off of the to-do list for recap?
I believe so, unless anyone else had anything.
Let's recenter this a little bit better.
Oh, not critical to the campaign, but Walmart sells dice towers now.
Awesome. We are not sponsored.
We'll take it though.
Well, we will take it if it's offered. Walden family, hit us up. Anyways, actually that'd be technically a that would get me in hot water. Because of my night job. It's fine. It's fine. We're all fine.
Ain't nobody gonna see this shit.
God, I wish they would. So yeah, you have free reign over the area. Do you want to stick around for getting this meeting done early, or do you want to postpone that and do things? I believe by this point in time, uh, Sorka has finished off the uh, connecting to the book,
Yes.
which means you have access to the magic and abilities from said book.
Yes.
I know there's a handful of things that you were kind of looking into. The why are there so many dire creatures in the area?
Yeah, I remember that.
I know Dionysus is wondering what the hell the ward is.
Mm-hmm.
There is searching for more books and the like. Wells, did you have a like semi goal that you were poking at? Trying to remember.
Honestly, not that I can remember, especially with how long it's been. But
It's okay. If you want to think of stuff, you can. Just whenever. And you can always just shoot me messages as like reminders. Like, hey, dropping this idea so that way neither of us forget that it's a thing.
I've put out feelers for an enchanter to incorporate the Book of the Bat.
Right. Because of that, specifically how you're wanting to try and go about that particular thing. This wouldn't be an actual intrigue. But let's do a because you have kind of set up a spy organization. Like an informant grouping. Let's give me a check off of that. Give me a. What's your investigation bonus?
Whose investigation bonus?
4 plus 4.
Yours is +4. All right.
I've got a significantly better
Yes, but it is Dionysus's
network.
network. So I'm gonna have you roll me an investigation at advantage. Well, I'm gonna get dice out for another thing.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20?
Mm-hmm.
Because your information network is currently, I'll say, a level 1, you can invest into it, which would be both time and money to be able to pull this off. Which I'll get into more details on that later once I read through the stuff a little bit more. But currently it'll be a additional +5 when you're using your particular grouping at level 1. Because
Okay.
+5 sounds reasonable for a level 1 thing. Or tier 1 thing, essentially. Because it's a action that they are proficient in. All right, so you send out your informants, and you're getting the word out. You're wanting to find something, anything that could potentially lead to a actual enchanter, not just the card maker. Because the card maker is that's all he knows how to do. He does it really fucking well. But that's all he does. So the first rumor that you have is a one that you kind of heard before. A person had come through, looks to be elven. He has slightly shiny skin. He went up north. He had stayed around the area for a couple weeks. And when he couldn't find any hard connections, he headed north. Last bit of information that you have is there is a very small town that's just called Burrow, north of where you guys are by about 2-3 days walking. Last that they heard any information, he's been staying there on and off. Another one is there seems to be a aspiring enchanter that has come into port a couple times. The Red Star is the ship that this person has been having a stay on.
This is the same ship that female magic user was on. Was it not?
No.
Okay.
Your ledgers have shown that that the Red Star has only come into port 3 times in the past year. And they're usually in about once a season, but end up skipping winter more often than not. And you are a good bit through you're about halfway through the summer right now. And it looks like they show up at the beginning of the seasons. And the third rumor is that there have been some odd items just popping up in town. A doll that can sing, like a little children's song. A hoe that, as you're using it to plow the fields, almost moves on its own as you're doing it, which has made the farmer that has it very happy. There seems to be one mug at the Black Barrel that Marcus is convinced can't spill. Like, period. Like, take mug, turn it upside down, can't spill, but as soon as you start drinking from it, you drink from it. You're muted. Dionysus, you're muted. I can tell you're saying something.
I need that mug. Um, I send a courier up to Burrow to try to find that individual, let him know that I potentially have work for him. With 10 gold advance to show some sincerity.
All right.
And then I'll also post up a there's a job board in town, right? Or like a notice board.
There is a simple notice board. It's posted right outside the Black Barrel. There's a second-ish notice board that is over by the warehouse, but that one seems to be mostly ship-based stuff.
Yeah, the one by the tavern. I'll put up a notice, just saying that I'm personally very curious about their particular skill set of whoever is getting these items.
1 second, people. I thought I hit admit. Did I not hit admit?
I don't see Vessel yet. There he is.
There we go. Welcome, welcome.
Hello.
We are sorting through a set of rumor points for Dionysus trying to get some extra help in the area. Oh, I remember what your little job thing that you want to head towards for. So, go through the orders.
But just that anyone who has a particularly interesting skill set that might be responsible for those items appearing around town should head up to the tavern at the manor. And 1 second.
Do you have a name for your tavern?
The one I'm making, or the one by the manor?
The one in the manor.
Tavern by the Manor?
That's what I've always heard it called.
I hadn't come up with a name yet, but we'll call it
Tavern on the Green.
taverns are always have weird names.
Maноrside Merriment.
I'm running a information network out of it. So let's call it.
What do you want your information network to be known as within the Under Societies? as a note, one of the societies that you had connections to back when you were in Sundera was known as the River.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes, if there was new information brought up, someone would say, "Oh yeah, seems like the river's running both ways this time," or along those kinds of things.
We're gonna call it the Raven's Roost.
I like it. And I'm guessing that the sign is legitimately just a raven roosting.
Mm-hmm.
Because my personal thought, and I think that some people agree with me on this, signs, like older signs, hardly ever had wording on them. Because not as many people knew how to read.
Mm-hmm.
So the name of the place is The Picture That You See.
Shit. Do I have anything to be able to do what I want to do? On the same note, I'll be like, if you to contact myself directly, order the Crow's Nest Ale. It's not an actual drink on the menu. Just that's, and then I'll talk to my bartender to tell me if anybody comes by and orders that, and lead them to a private meeting room.
Okay. Any others?
I'm just waiting for the other ship to come in. I'm gonna tug at all these threads, but everyone else can do whatever the fuck they want.
Well, I would like to stumble downstairs, having not slept for days, big circles under my eyes, and test out some things. But I need to make sure that Dionysus is at a table or something.
I'm scared to confirm, but Dionysus is generally drinking at the bar if he's not off doing something else.
Okay, I figured. I just
So, Dionysus is at the bar. Sorka has come down.
You look like shit, Sorka.
yeah. So do you.
I've at least slept.
Sleep is for the weak.
Did you get anything good out of it?
Maybe.
Care for a drink?
Not for the moment, but thanks for asking.
Dionysus is getting very nervous. His cheeks are starting to clench.
Sorka?
Yeah. So I'm just gonna order some food
All right.
and just slowly eat and draw shapes with my fingers on the bar.
1 second. I'm guessing that the ding a second ago is to me.
Hmm.
Okay. I was setting up side quest stuffy here. Yeah, so Dionysus. Every time you start reaching for your drink, it moves just out of reach. And as you give up, it moves back to where it was.
I stare directly at Sorka as I reach for it again.
And it moved out of reach again.
Mm-hmm. I maintain eye contact as I just reach into my jacket and pull out a flask.
Yeah, you it kind of jolts in your hand and spills on down the front of you.
You've gone too far. My alcohol? Really?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
Blink, 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 blink.
In retaliation, I just snap my fingers and as you're about to take a bite of food, and it immediately tastes like snail slime. I prestidigitate the taste of your food into snail slime.
I start emptying your pockets. Things just sort of start like floating up onto the bar.
Getting handsy with your magic now, are we?
Just testing some things.
That book really is something.
Do I need to make a roll? Because there's a 5% chance.
Yes, so it's a D20 on the roll of a 1.
Okay.
Or if you want to roll a D100, it's a 5% chance.
So, nope, nothing happens.
Okay. Also, what one? Ah, yes, that's a fun one.
Okay, so I'm done, like, making sure that, like, the magic works.
It
Uh,
works.
So that was fun.
It works and it works well.
Yeah.
Glad to be a practice dummy.
Just had to make sure it worked. Can't think of a better person to try stuff on.
I mean, when I tell people I'm open for anything, this is not exactly what I meant.
Yeah, you might not want to push it, or you could end up. Yeah, it could get interesting.
I never thought you'd actually take me up on literally taking my words seriously.
I take everything that you say seriously.
That is patently false, and you know it.
I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, my fun is over.
Are all of you sticking around the manor, or are some of you heading back to Mandan on small job ranges?
I'll be sticking to the manor. I need to catch up on things.
Okay. Cassius?
Cassius really doesn't have a reason to stick with the manor. He's probably preoccupied with I forgot who was helping me with the brothel. Someone on the council, but
Oh, I believe that it was Quaz, the dwarven woman.
sure.
The very old dwarven woman.
Does she have experience with brothels?
In her younger years, she said.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, I guess we need to find a place like I don't know where's Cassius starting?
So
Like we starting at like we need to find a place to build it and everything, or what?
there are empty buildings. This place was run almost completely dead under the rule of the Duke. So there's a handful of buildings. In town, there's actually a handful of tall buildings. The tallest one, which needs a little bit of work on the highest floors and the roof, is a 4-story building. At least that's what you can see it as from the outside. It looks like it used to be a much grander building. Are you wanting
So
to meet?
I would like to get as close to the docks as possible because that's where the business is.
It is half a road in from the docks. So
Okay.
docks are here. There's a road that goes this way. It's up in this road.
Okay.
Not that far up. It's not a full block away. And you can see it
Okay.
from the docks. You can see it from almost anywhere in town. Most buildings here are at best 2 stories. There's a lot of people who have their housing right over their shop.
Yeah. Okay.
And at 4 stories, it's a good sized building.
Excellent.
You
yeah,
can
I mean,
see that the roof is dilapidated. The roof needs repair.
You said the roof and like the top floor is rough because I assume the roof is messed up, and then
Yeah,
the roof being messed up made the first floor messed up,
right.
or the fourth. Okay.
And you can see that from the outside. You have not gone in yet. Are you wanting to go in alone or with someone?
I'll go in alone.
Okay. When you step into this building, it looks like it used to be very similar to like a saloon. So there is a long bar that's half destroyed on one entire side of this place. There's a stage at the far end. You can tell that that the second floor is not full second floor. There is space from it that looks down into the first floor.
Okay.
You have a strong. You can get the sense that this place wouldn't put the Black Barrel out of business if you opened it up. The Black Barrel has dedicated customers, and their drink is something else. It's also the only actual inn in town. As you
I don't
start
think this
going
is the
up
place.
Huh?
I said I don't know if this is the place. But yeah, keep going up.
Yeah, as you get up to the second floor, you notice that a few of the stairs are creaky, and it looks like someone had smashed through two steps with some kind of blunt object at some point. As you're going through this place, it seems that when it was being emptied out, it wasn't done peacefully. On this second floor, there's a good bit of room for seating. There's actually a couple tables up here still. The railing goes all the way around with good seats that could be right up next to the railing to be able to see the stage, as well as booths farther back that have been fairly mangled. The odds of being able to get stuff put in here, like extra drapery, reasonable idea.
Well, I mean, Cassius is looking at whatever building he does get is probably going to be torn down to bare bones.
Okay. Yeah, as you get to the third floor, it looks like there were rooms here at some point, but there's also like a open ballroom in the middle. The more you're going through this, the more you're thinking that this was probably some higher ups place at some point in time, and whoever they were left town a while ago.
How many buildings or like, is it close to a bunch of other buildings around it? Right.
There's a handful of buildings pretty close by. One's to the left and right for sure. There's a little bit of a courtyard behind it where a bunch of the buildings just have empty space, so they're not all butted up next to each other. And across the road, there's a handful of buildings. This is the worst building of them so far, of like this little area. But it's also the biggest.
So, what's the just the footprint of the building, like width and length?
It is
Roughly.
80 by sorry, I had the dimensions in my head a second ago. It is 80 by 100 with most floors being having 8-foot high ceilings.
Okay. It's not a little building. Hmm. So is it? It's like after like so we've gotten up to the third floor,
You've gotten up to the
the
third
fourth.
floor.
So I guess I want to make sure everything's safe, and then I'll get quartz.
Quaz.
Clause. Yeah. So at one, if I make sure everything's not like the building's not going to collapse on her, I'll get her in, and we'll start talking about ideas and possibilities. But
All
so
right.
yeah, fourth floor.
When you get to the fourth floor, you can move around. This is not a floor that you'd probably bring Quaz to. She's over 400 and starting to actually show her age properly. You can get around up here yourself, but it's the roof has collapsed in most of the way. You can actually see through the subflooring a little bit into where you could technically see the ceiling of the next floor down.
Okay.
It's about 3/4 of the roof has broken and is either fully collapsed in or just
Supported by the mess that has collapsed.
supported by the mess that has collapsed. The last fourth that is still standing, it looks nice, but it's probably going to still need to be replaced to get everything up and running the way it is. You also feel that you could possibly just knock out this entire floor and make this a small attic if you wanted to.
There's possibilities, but yeah, I guess I'll go get quartz, and we'll start at the first floor. And because like I was thinking the bar would go over here, and I was hoping to have a little bit more room to expand, like if business got going good, but like there are all the other buildings beside it. What do you think, Quads?
Well, for one, this is a good start, especially with the size of it. We could easily acquire the two buildings on either side, with both of them being two-story buildings. It would take a little bit of craftsmanship to be able to properly connect them if we want to have it as just one physical building. But yeah, I think we could do that. Just have to make sure that if they are occupied, we give proper, healthy replacements and do the work up front ourselves. Last thing we need is this place getting a bad reputation for acquiring buildings. As far as moving the stuff around, it will take some time. Are we wanting to keep a stage for stage shows?
I was planning on a stage show a little bit later, but I mean, if we already have a stage, I don't see a reason to get rid of it.
If nothing else, it's more seating. It'll take some time. A couple months probably, to be able to get everything properly up and running. But I think we can do it.
So how long do you think, Quartz, to get it up and running? I said Quaz.
I would say give me 6 weeks. That way I can get everything brought down to the bare bones, refitted up, be able to move the bar to where you were thinking it should be moved to. Get furniture and try and get some people in. We're not going to be filling this place all the way up from the start, but the least we can do is get something going. 6 weeks to be able to make sure we have actual staff. Does that sound reasonable to you?
Yeah, sounds reasonable.
Do we have access to the treasury, or are you wanting to fund this out of your own pocket?
Cassius will think about that for a second.
You were told you have treasury access.
Yes, we have treasury access.
All right. I'll make sure to keep everything in proper, neat ledgers. Last thing we need is a rogue copper piece going missing and everything falling apart.
Yeah, those copper pieces will run off if you don't watch them.
Oh, if you start misplacing copper pieces, next thing you know, gold is going missing. And you keep it all the way knocked down. Those kinds of numbers are not the best with myself. I'll probably lean on the assistance from the Merchants Guild in town. But the actual running of the building itself, I can manage most of the day to day once it gets up and running.
Absolutely. Yeah, I guess just let me know what you. I mean, I can help when they start tearing stuff out. I can help move stuff, of course. I mean, unless the barons need me, I mean, I'll pretty much be able to be here helping y'all. So, want to get started tomorrow? Try and find some people today, and then started tomorrow, day after.
I can start setting out for getting some work put in here within the day. Last question I do have, though, is do you already have a name in mind, or are we waiting until closer to open?
No, I already have a name in mind. Siren Sanctuary.
All right. Then we'll get to work on the Siren's Sanctuary. She pulls out her flask and lifts it first, takes a sip before handing it to you.
And I also will take a sip.
Yeah, even with
Cheers.
your like undeadness, this stuff kicks hard.
I assume with dwarves it's the same as like getting into grandma's purse and there's just like a bag of mixed up pills.
You more or less. Yeah, and she's old. She openly
She's drinking straight Everclear and mixing it with meds.
it has more flavor than Everclear.
It's like a slushy, just instead of ice, it's pills. She takes one of those and goes to the store. What are you talking about?
All right. See here, let me look at where that timing would set it as 3. All right. Yeah, that's gonna cost you a good bit of money on it. And if you want to connect up with Dio on connecting your two enterprises, you can. But it's up to you.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely go talk to Dio real quick. Or ride back to the manor, I reckon. Because Quat said she's going to start getting stuff in order for them to start. Right? So I'll go update Dio and talk to him about the building and any other options that may be available. And see if we can come to an agreement that is mutually beneficial.
Well, do you have any concerns about what you and Claus have started?
Well, it's an old building. A lot of old buildings, you know, when whatever the old building was, it's kind of hard to break that reputation from it, right? On top of that, this building is super old. It's old. It's been run down. I mean, honestly, at this point, we essentially have to rebuild the fourth floor and the roof. So, I mean, it's like imagine trying to clean up under a bed while the bed is still there. It's a lot harder than just cleaning up and then putting the bed there. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like to like try and pick up the building and then fix all the stuff under it. It could be a lot more work than starting fresh.
Well, if you want to just knock it down and rebuild it, we can do that. But we're trying to get rid of some of the dilapidatedness of the town. So putting a fresh
You
face
could
on
find
it,
a few of those.
putting a fresh face on it could be good too. I don't think we're on a pressing timeline at all. So if you take the time to do it right, it could be a good thing.
Well, I mean, as I said previously, I want this to be done right. I really want this place to not take off. I don't know. I want this place to be kind of a crown jewel, not the crown jewel, but maybe a crown jewel. And I mean, it's a port city. Like, what kind of port city doesn't have a brothel?
Fair. Now, it may not be a ton of direct extra money or anything, but you're absolutely right that a brothel is kind of a staple, and happy customers tend to have looser lips. So, if any of your workers are looking to do a little bit extra for a little extra coin and keep their ears open, some of my people would be very happy to include them in the network.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, and brothels in general are just really good places to get information. So
That they are. One of my favorites. Actually, not really. I prefer the tavern, but I do know that interesting information is easy to come by because people like to brag.
yeah, whatever you say isn't. I don't know if I can say this on a public forum. Never mind. But I do think so Cassius will start pulling just an inordinate amount of like not notebooks or scroll like just scrap paper that he has found and started scribbling on.
Okay.
The drawing I sent into the group chat, that's the rough blueprints that he is pulling out. So you can see like on that first floor, the bottom like right corner of it, like that would be the initial bar, right? That's the bar we start and get building, and then the the rest of the building behind it with a stone wall around it, that'll be the actual. That's going to be essentially like why people come. Like that's the part that includes the theater, the apartments, and the rooms for some of our higher end clientele. But that first section of the bar, just that bottom right corner, uh, there's a tavern area, an area for fighting, because most bars have fighting, and it's hard to have a fighting area in the center of the bar. So we have that off to the side where that big stone dais is, and then we have the brothel section over here, and then that circular area is the kitchen, and he will continue dragging on. Like I legitimately, the player, not Cassius, have those pieces of paper drawn up.
Include an opium den in there, and you've got every vice known to sailor.
I mean, is opium legal here?
We're the law, we're not.
Fair enough.
And you've got fighting, you've got booze, you've got company, entertainment. Yes, I think Cassius agreed with me before. This is probably going to be the best brothel for any worker to work at in terms of care for the people.
Yes, definitely. I agree with that.
This is more thought out than I expected, and I expected a lot.
I'm starting on the basement. I have about half the basement finished in that 3D model. Tailspire, that's what I'm using. I don't know if y'all are aware of it.
Nope.
I will also suggest that we house guards on premises at all times to.
Oh, guards.
guards.
Okay.
I heard
Yeah.
gods too. Is that what you
Yeah.
heard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm just
was
gonna
like,
call down
huh?
a deity, okay?
Hey Zeus, we can't have Zeus, just not Zeus, okay?
Oh
That
God,
is,
no, not Zeus.
you
Zeus
do not
is
want
the
him in the
last one
brothel.
you would want in a brothel.
Any contraceptive we have would not work.
No,
It would actually be a fertilizer. Yeah, there's an eagle in the bathroom. Stay out of the bathroom. I'm glad that everyone likes the at least the vision I have for Siren Sanctuary.
And I like the name. That's definitely going to catch the sailor's attention.
Well, and like I said, like the theater, like the stage and all that, like you gotta have like it makes sense to have musical productions like Siren,
Mm-hmm.
but also sirens are beautiful and
Mm-hmm.
and then once again, like Sanctuary was picked on purpose, like as Dio was saying, like this is going to be safe for all of our sirens.
let's just not hire any actual sirens since they tend to lead men to
Corpses.
their death.
Right, no actual sirens.
The disappearances
See an
are
actual
going to
siren?
happen from another building, not the sirens.
Correct. I don't want disappearance. Like that's how you get a haunted bar. I don't want a haunted tavern.
Can I haunt my bar? When you say haunted bar, Dio just starts staring off into the distance. Like, how do I intentionally haunt my bar?
Haunt a bar.
I mean,
That would not. It would have to have a lot of passageways through it just to make sure that you'd be able
it
to
does.
set that up. Almost like you could make it. One of the themes could be a haunted bar. That would catch more attention, would it not?
That's not a bad idea.
Though it
Thank
might
you,
also
Dio.
lead some clientele away.
Well, and like Like
I
a
think
little
it's
haunting.
a haunted bar in the middle of the woods that people can just run across.
Speaking of which, I got to go check the hunting lodge. Thank you for reminding me of that.
That's a good segue point. Justice, I need you to make me a survival check at advantage with an additional +5.
Oh, jeez. Okay, so don't roll a 1, in other words.
No, this is for your quest thing. This is essentially a lodge check
Okay.
through your organization of hunters and all of that.
Okay, so advantage. Okay, and we'll add 5 to it. 18 plus 5, 23.
All right. So you actually generated one more than I originally expected you to, which is perfectly fine. So the four main things rumor-wise that you hear as you're going from the lodge inside the manor to the new one, because I'm guessing you're going back and forth between the two on trying to figure stuff out, right?
Yes.
All right. The four main things that you keep hearing. First, the dire animals seem to be congregating and moving about more east of the of where the manor is than anywhere else.
Okay.
One of the reasons for this, which is the second rumor that you hear, is there's a handful of dire moose out to the west.
Okay.
No one knows where where these creatures came from.
Okay.
But a couple of hunters have a theory. There used to be a old druid grove about 3 days travel northeast into the forest. No one knows what's happened to this grove.
Okay. But the moose are coming from the west.
The moose have moved and taken over the west over there.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Like
So we need
the
to check
dire
out
moose
that
are on the
druid
west,
grove.
and things have died over there because it's dire moose. Like they're
Yes.
17 feet fucking tall.
Definitely have to look into that. Okay. Sorry. I already forgot what you said was the first thing. I didn't write it down.
There is a larger number of dire animals out east that are trying to vie for territory. Wolves, hyenas, boars, bears. There's a couple dire birds that have been spotted.
Okay. Sounds good.
Dire bird is a new one.
Yep, definitely. So more than likely, like giant-sized eagles and things like that, or just giant-sized robins, which are the size of turkeys.
That's what I was thinking, just like a eagle-sized robin.
Yeah. Well, a turkey is a prouder animal than the scavenger that is the eagle. You can thank Ben Franklin for that one.
Just like a gigantic pigeon. Oh my god, can you imagine a dire seagull?
Oh gods. Going with a pigeon, I was gonna say the shitstorm that would happen.
No, the one that you really need to worry about are the dire cobra chickens.
Yep, most definitely. They're bad enough as
God.
they are.
No, dire swans. Swans are what geese think they are.
You've never encountered the cobra chicken
Have
then.
you ever encountered a swan?
Yep. We have
Swan-
swans in the area.
Swans are like a foot and a half bigger. Like,
Yes.
they're bigger and they're like they're just
You have to remember
they're
this is a
actually
hybrid
tough.
Canada. This is a hybrid Canada goose. This is not the traditional Canada goose, the ones that you guys get down there. The hybrid ones
Have
are,
teeth on their tongues.
and
It's just a
they
geese thing.
are, these things are vicious. The swans keep quiet around the cobra chickens. Okay. So now, granted, okay, they're vastly outnumbered, so that might be part of the reason why.
No, it's because the toughest person is always the quietest. It's the loud person you got to worry about.
Yeah, well, when they decide that they're going to go and attack an entire family of humans, you get to shelter as quickly as possible. It's all the residual anger of Canadians. The reason we're so nice is there's this big ceremony that we do over the bloody sun once a year, and all our negative energy goes into the cobra chicken.
That explains it. And then if y'all could weaponize that.
They're our Air Force, didn't you know that?
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That checks out.
And our
This Canadian lore. It is now canon.
Yes.
Well, we've been canon for years.
And did you know that Canadian moose, they are our amphibious heavy infantry?
Do you
Yes.
know what the largest natural predator of the moose is?
The orca.
Yes.
And there have been actual encounters, people diving on the West Coast, seeing a moose 15 feet down, suddenly get taken out by an orca.
And then they stopped. Then they sold all of their gear, and that was the end of it. Like, I am.
Yep.
That's the last
done.
time. They don't even take baths anymore, okay? Well, it's kind of like the great white shark that's got to be off the coast of Africa that ran into a moose, or sorry, not a moose, the camel, which is like, because they're actually very good swimmers. Because why not?
Why not? There's their animals. Of course, they're great swimmers.
Sorry.
The random weird.
And there is the Canadian house hippo. You can't forget that. Unfortunately, it's now extinct. Such a shame. Okay, so you said there were 4 rumors.
Right.
1 and 2. Okay, got those.
And the first one is the larger dire beasts out
To the
east.
east, yeah.
Most people believe that they're that direction because out west there are dire moose.
Mm-hmm.
About 2 to 3 days travel in the forest, and this
Mhm.
is hunters giving directions, so
Yeah.
this could take longer with the rest of your party than
Understandable. Yeah.
But yeah, 2 to 3 days northeast. There used to be a druidic grove that some knew about.
Mm-hmm.
But people think it's been abandoned. And a
So no,
druidic grove being abandoned is,
a bad thing.
yeah. Also, the last one is, and this came from the range of your a combination of your roles and my roles for this. People have said there have been sightings of a person in the woods that has like single-handedly taken down some dire creatures. One-on-one, but still.
That's moderately impressive. Yes, definitely.
And this isn't a, they shoot it from a distance kind of thing. This person runs up, takes them down, and drags the bodies off.
So melee. That's now much more impressive.
Respect.
Mm-hmm.
Hence the taking them down. It's not just a dropping them; like they take them down.
Mm-hmm.
These sightings have been seen more consistently about day and a half due east
The person?
of the single person.
Okay.
They seem to have a pretty reasonable sized area that they cover,
Mm-hmm.
but it's been a consistent sighting. So it looks like they are hunting out for more than just themselves.
Okay, we're going to have to do something about that sooner rather than later, I think, at this point in time. Okay.
Also, the most of the measurements that you're getting are off of the lodge, not from the manor.
Mhm.
And the lodge was a couple days out.
Yeah. So a week's travel, roughly, for non-hunters.
Right. Anything you're wanting to go on for?
Um, Trying to remember her name. Cannot remember her name. The half orc or orc who's the lead of the
Lily
Ah.
Dravis.
Lily Travis. Thank you. So I go look for her and see. Basically, need to figure out how much extra reinforcement are we going to need to take out this situation. Because I assume she's been the one talking to most of the hunters and has more information than most on this.
So when you meet up with her, she is actually closer to town when you do finally catch up with her.
Mm-hmm.
She's at a tanning shack a little ways outside of town.
Good place for it.
Yeah. Yeah, she's there also with the dwarf, Galdic.
Yes, Galdic. Okay, he's the one that had the He had to work for rebuilding the lodge, right?
Right.
Okay.
When you meet up with them,
Mhm.
he is the one who looks to be doing most of the work on the leather.
Okay. So, Lily,
Yes.
um, situation is dire around here, isn't it? Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Bad pun.
Bad puns aside, it's true.
Mm-hmm. I've been hearing that we're east and west. We've got a lot of trouble.
I wish it was just a lot of trouble.
Oh,
Dire Moose, Dire, most anything. They are. We're getting good hides out of it. We're getting good meat for the town.
but at what risk?
In the past moon, I have lost 2 hunters. That normally happens a season.
Mm-hmm.
We lose people all the time. The hunting
Part of-
is
yeah.
dangerous, as you know.
Mhm.
But 2 people in a moon.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, the encounter that you and I had was definitely a challenge.
yeah,
Only because I got the drop on it were we able to take things out.
and all the people that are going out, it is now a requirement of parties of 3.
Good, good.
Even with that parties of 3 rule, that is when we lost 2 people.
Jesus.
The parties of 3 rule happened when we stopped hunting west.
Well, the moose, yeah, it's as attractive
Taking
as
out one of
attractive as
them would
those.
be able to feed the better part of the town for a week easy.
Mhm,
Just the one. And
mhm,
the toolings we could get off of that.
mhm, mhm. Um, I personally, I would like to see one of them just to gauge how challenging that would be. Um, the problem is, how do we get them? The thing is, they'll take down trees if they run it, if they headbutt them.
There's been more of a opening in that area. Trees are coming down.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. They're ripping them down. So even if we were in trees to try and take them out at a distance, we're still running the risk of them just taking out the tree out from under us.
Right. I did some reconnaissance on them earlier. The best I've seen is there are 2 that I know of.
Mm-hmm.
My worry is I think that is a mating pair.
So regardless of which one we go after, the other one is definitely going to come after us.
And my worry is if we leave it fallow for too long,
No, we have to, one, cull them, and then two, we have to figure out what is going on. Is the Druid Grove, the abandoned Druid Grove, the center of all this?
some people have said yes. A lot of the creatures seem to have migrated south.
And that's going into getting closer to,
Our territory.
yeah.
The thing that throws me off of all of this is whoever this new person is, this wild hunter out there,
hmm
whoever or whatever they are, I don't like it for a lot of reasons. Least of which is most people that have seen this person only see them near the end of a fight.
hmm
They hear the sounds of struggle, think, monopolize on a territory struggle between a couple animals. That's how we've gotten a lot of our bigger scores recently.
hmm
And then here we are. Catching this person taking down a dire black bear alone.
That is an impressive individual. Do we have any idea, other than just this is a person that's taking them down? Do we know? Are they giant kin? Are they?
The best reports I've gotten in, they kit themselves out a little bit like I have. So, with a bush suit, it's hard to tell size. I look
Hmm.
almost triple my size when I'm in my suit. But I don't
Point
know
take.
if that is them wearing a bush suit on top of furs from what they have taken out.
hmm
I have no idea if they are. The closest anyone has gotten is about 100 feet from him. Any closer than that, and they get stopped dead in their tracks, and then they leave.
As in, there's a barrier that's keeping people from getting close.
Most people say they just get wigged out when they see this thing look at them.
Would be a useful ally in removing the threat.
If
But
anyone can get close to it.
yeah, no, I have the advantage. I can come in from different directions because of, and I just shake my wings a bit.
And that is a very good advantage.
hmm Um, where am I? So what do you say? Do we try and find out what's going on with this individual, or you said you've already done some reconnaissance on the moose?
Right, and
Any
the,
danger of them coming into town?
they pass north of town by 50 yards.
Oh, that is not good.
They didn't come into town, but
50 yards. If somebody sees something that big, can you imagine, one, the panic, and two, depending on the moose, if it happens to be a sow with child, uh, we're fucked. We've got a moose rampaging in town.
yeah.
Oh boy. So how hard is people just happened upon this stranger just because of conflict? So nobody's been actually able to track him or anything like that.
Most people haven't tried tracking them.
I think we should try and track them. I want to know. I want to know more about them. Um, do we have 4 hunters that are willing to patrol around the edge of town, the north edge of town, to make sure that no moose comes in close?
We can put some delegations out for it.
I'm looking at it that this individual either will become an ally or needs to be removed from the equation. Um, if they're an ally, then we can help them help us remove the threat around town. Um, and then we go after the grove. At that point, I think I would talk to the barons and see who wants to participate in that, because I think we're going to need more than just hunters to work through that part. And let's let me go talk to one of our newer members. He seems to be an expert in hand-to-hand himself. So if this individual turns out to be less than friendly, um, we've got someone that can focus. And if I recall, they're not likely to have too much of an issue with um, getting wigged out. So they might be able to approach where none of us, well, actually, I should be able to as well. Yeah. So I'm going to quickly head into town. Can you see about getting, as I said, at least a team of 4? I don't, if we're losing people to the east in teams of 3, I want to make sure we have at least a group of 4 to minimize any potential risk of losing any hunters to a moose.
All right.
And we'll. Okay, out of character. I can't remember. Where is the lodge in relation to manor and town?
Lodge is 3 days into the woods, heading east northeast
From
from the manor.
from the manor. Okay. And the manor is which direction from town?
It is north of town. Couple
How
days.
far? Okay. So that means getting 4 to 5 days getting to the lodge, especially with non-hunters.
You can boost other people's speeds while traveling, seeing as you know that kind of traversing.
Oh well, they wouldn't have to worry about difficult terrain.
Right.
Okay. So they'd be able to do normal speeds. But that's still slow compared to me literally just flying there.
Right.
Also, I'm an outlander, so I would be able to literally just take off and fly from town straight to the lodge without any troubles. I do recognize lay of the land and such.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then do you have to go back to the lodge then to recruit these people?
Yeah, I'll send out
Okay.
information once I get closer to the lodge again.
Okay, sounds good. I'm gonna go talk to the Baron, see what reinforcements. At the very least, have the one individual that, as I mentioned, would I think thoroughly enjoy having a hand-to-hand combat with whomever this person is, if it comes down to that.
Sounds like a plan. Keep me
Okay.
informed.
Definitely. I will meet you back at the lodge as soon as I can do the turnaround.
All right.
And out of character, I will be right back.
All right. Actually, we're gonna call a 10-minute break. All right. So we will see you all again here in about 10 minutes. All right, and we're good.
So I head back into town and I look for Cassius.
All right, Cassius is probably near the working areas of
the site of Siren Sanctuary.
yeah.
Sounds good. Cassius!
Hey, how you doing, Justice?
Could be better, could be worse.
Yeah, I hear you. You kind of drop a load of like crap that I was taking out of the bar, like demolition.
Okay. You were, if I recall correctly, you're rather hand-to-hand oriented, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay. Because we've got a situation that may require your expertise.
Cassius is visibly giddy. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let me tell Quats. I'll be right back. And
Yeah.
I go and tell Quats I have to go help out the Barons. And then I come back. All right. Who needs it?
You know a little bit about the fact we've got all sorts of dire creatures spawning around everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. There is this individual east of town that seems to be single-handedly taking these creatures out, hand to hand.
He has one arm?
Seems that way. No, he has both arms. He just has one hand.
Oh. Huh. Impressive. Do is that him? Is that who it is, or is it the dire beast?
Well, it's
Oh.
we're trying to. Nobody's been able to approach this individual. I would like to make sure that if and when we can approach the individual, if they turn out to be less than friendly, have at.
I mean, I can just go and try and talk to him.
Well, and that's the whole thing. From what I've heard, this individual may have some form of fear aura around them. Is that going to cause you any issues?
I don't think so.
Okay. I don't figure I'm going to have too much of a problem myself, but I want to make sure that the rest of the people that would be coming with us would not be in any significant danger. That we pose more of a threat to this individual than anybody else.
So to clarify, Cassius is just like what Cassius is getting is you're just asking if he scares easily, and he's saying no.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he's saying he doesn't scare easily. I just wanted to he doesn't have any like special protections against fear or anything.
Okay. I figured, okay, being not alive, he might have had.
No. Yeah, that's why I wanted to clarify, because he's not scared. Of course not. He's Cassius. But yeah, just so you're aware.
Gotcha.
He doesn't have any protection or anything against it.
Okay. That's what I wanted to know. Okay. The question is, do we bring the rest of the crew in or not? They've got their own projects that they have to get going.
Dio's just been drinking a lot.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe we should get him coming along too.
Well, he's been drinking when Sorka's been allowing him to.
So, in other words, virtually all the time unless she's around.
Basically.
Dio is actively hiding from Sorka so that his booze is untampered with.
So then, bringing you on an excursion would be a good idea. That way you're away from her.
Throwing chipmunks at Wells's sword.
Sorka, please tell me you can go invisible. Like, I'm just imagining like the most epic game of like hide and seek ever throughout the entire manor.
Well, I believe that is available to me, actually.
I love it.
Fuck!
But
Definitely.
Remember how we were talking about having a haunted house kind of thing?
Oh, Sorka would be a great addition for that.
Yeah.
As would Dio's prestidigitation.
I can also cast Magical Darkness.
That would make things very interesting for anyone. Okay. Let's see if anybody else wants to come along, I guess would be the best thing. But I'm figuring Sorka has other things to do rather than antagonize Dio.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
could
that
probably
picks up.
use some sleep at this point.
It's probably been a couple days since you probably got some sleep.
Like about 3, I think.
I like to imagine some of that time has also just been like you could have gotten sleep, but then you were like, I'm going to keep messing with Dio for a minute. And it just, the time flies when you're having fun.
Absolutely. Somebody has to keep him on his toes.
Right?
Hmm.
I can pick him up.
Yeah, well then he's no longer in his toes.
Well, just a little bit. Takes like some of the weight off of him. Make him walk around on his tippy toes all the time.
Hmm.
So are you picking me up pelvis to pelvis or nut to butt for this?
Nut to butt.
Nut to butt? All right. Well, then we've got fighting capability still. So
Exactly. Okay, I'm gonna start. Am I proficient with Dio?
You do not have weapon proficiency with elves.
I have
He didn't
improvised
say
weapons.
elves. He said Dio.
I mean, I am a tool, so
That's for sure.
You do not have that tool proficiency.
Darn it.
Okay.
Does Wells want to go?
Actually, yes. We should talk to Wells. Make sure that they've got everything well in hand.
Whoa, how's the bloodlust?
Because worst case scenario, there's dire creatures that need to be removed anyways.
Do we need to go kill things for you? Or let you kill things, rather?
So yes, go find Wells. Yep, for some hunting.
Come on.
Yeah, I could go on.
Okay, because as the whole thing is that there's at the very least we're going to have dire chickens around. We're going east, so it's going to be wolves, boar, bear, bigger threats than normal. Right now we are, and I give them a whole overview of the fact that we're losing hunters and things like that. Sorka, it's actually going to take us about a week to get to the area that we need. I'm sure you could get some sleep in the meantime.
I mean, maybe if we pulled her Sorka away from the library, that would also help her get sleep.
You have a very good point there.
I've been thinking about locking the doors, but then I value my life.
Like
Mhm.
I'm not.
So, well,
I'm
are you done playing with
reckless.
your family
That's too
jewels,
much.
and do you want to go hunt? Or are you too busy with your little rocks?
I think Wells has already said that they're
Okay.
interested. It's Sorka that we.
Wells, how do you expect to mess with me if you don't come along?
Did you say Wells or did you say
Or
Sorka?
Sorka. I meant Sorka. Sorry.
Yep, Sorka.
All
You're
right.
doing a
Well,
great job. He doesn't
that's
even
it for
know that
me.
it's you.
Rocks fall, Dio dies.
I think your companions are asking if you want to come out and play.
Yeah, I probably could. Let me just get like can I get a couple hours of sleep?
Monster.
Considering the fact it's going to take the better part of a week to get to location, I'm sure you're going to get sleep sometime.
Okay,
there.
yeah, if you guys will just let me like sleep in the back of a cart or something like that for a while, I have no problem coming out and playing.
Actually, you know what? That'll give us a chance to get some supplies to the lodge because we have to hit the lodge first and then go on.
Perfect then.
Okay, I will talk to Lily's brother and find out has she left any orders of stuff that the lodge needs.
All right. So you get to the Black Barrel,
Mhm.
and Marcus is behind the bar. First thing he brings up is, yeah, there are a couple things that have been sitting that need to head up.
Okay. Do we have a wagon or a cart that we can use to haul anything that needs to be going?
Yeah, she has a cart currently in town.
Perfect. So let's get that loaded up. Whatever coins are needed for the cost, we can cover that, no issues. We can get that up and running.
All right. So yeah, it takes just a bit of time, and once you get everything together, it takes you a few days to get up to the lodge. It all in all, it takes you get up to the lodge about week's end from
Mhm.
the end of the month,
Okay.
just close to. Gotta send a quick private message. And you also arrive like later in the evening. So when you get there, it would be easy to just rest and then first light. You're able to
Yeah.
You're good to go on it.
Sounds good. So on the trip, I make sure that Sorka actually does get some rest. That if I'm assuming she's brought some books to keep her occupied, and those are during the daytime only. Okay. Um, so then meet up with Lily.
Yep.
Looks like I've got the whole gang here. So absolute worst case scenario, if this individual does not want to be friendly, I think we have things covered. Um, are you able to guide us to the location or somebody else?
I could probably guide you in as close as we can.
Hmm.
From checking off the maps, connecting it to my knowledge of the lay of the land,
Hmm.
I have a pretty good idea of where all we are going.
Okay. Sounds good.
So you get that information in at the evening just before turning in.
Okay.
When you turn in for the evening, pretty average night. The lodge seems a little bit low on people currently. Like there are more than enough open bunks,
Hmm.
and there are fewer backpacks hanging. But
Okay.
you are in the middle of good peak season, so packs are hardly kept here for long periods.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's good enough weather still to not have to worry about it.
Bonus. Good to see. Um, now that, and I make sure everybody understands, going to try and minimize or at least focus damage to any dire creatures we meet so that we can gain as much resources from it, not just meat, but skin and so on and so forth. So aim for the head. Because splattered brains, not so much of a problem. It just makes the tanning process that much easier.
Depends who you ask. Personally, I'm a fan of most things that are in the head.
Well, I guess. But a sword thrust through the side will definitely cause less resources to be recovered.
That's why you just take the head completely off.
Hey, if you can, all the better. Okay, so then I guess we pass the night and we head off first thing in the morning.
All right.
Tear off the head's herd.
Small note to Wells. Make sure to bump up that particular number. I sent it to you in DMs.
I'm not seeing anything regarding a number.
It'll be in your description information. I'll send it to you as a more clear. That number.
Now I get it. Yeah.
That number. Yeah, that number goes up by 1. It still passes. If you want to tell the party, you can. It's not required.
Okay.
So, you start heading off. Let's do a skill challenge for figuring out where finding out this person.
Okay.
Sorry, just real quick. On our way there, because we're going through the wilderness, could I take the opportunity to do a couple more of my herbalism checks?
Yes.
Okay. In my case, what do you want as skill check?
Well, being a skill challenge, the
Mhm.
entire party can take part in it. You guys need 5 successes before 3 failures to track this person down.
Okay.
You must be proficient in the skills that you use. You can, if you can justify a skill, you can use it.
Okay. So I've got perception, investigation, and survival in that order. Can I use perception on this one?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
To, starting to spot stuff.
Okay. Perception, 18.
18. Yeah, as you're doing a broad looking around, you're noticing that there are more dire creatures that stay away from a area farther, like directly east.
Okay.
So you guys are starting to head in that direction, noticing that there's fewer creatures heading in that area.
Okay. Dio, do you think you could help me with this?
Yes, how would you like me to assist?
Using the help action out of character.
Yeah.
I figure I've got pretty much the highest perception of the group.
Well, mine's a +9 too.
Same here. So
Note, once you've used a skill, you cannot reuse that skill yourself.
okay. So how about I help you then, Dio, on the next run?
Teamwork.
Yeah, I'm
You'd
just
also use survival for like trying to track this person. And you said you also had like investigation trained.
Yep. Perception, investigation, and survival. +9, +7, +6. That's why I may as well help Dio with his perception first, and then go to the next skill.
can we do that, or do you want me to? Because I can use something else too.
Seeing as Justice already did use perception for one area point,
Mhm.
it would be essentially using your perception again for doing the aid action on it.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna say because I've got decent, not as good in some of the other wilderness stuff, but
Mhm.
I've got all kinds of skills. I've got
Okay.
all the skills.
I'm gonna. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. My digestive system is
Because
disagreeing with
we're
me.
trying to track them down, right? So,
Yes, we
how
are.
about I use stealth to move us quietly through the area?
That works. I can help you with that.
23.
23. Yeah, you start getting farther into the area, avoiding a lot of the rough bushes, the burned out parts from it being summer. As you get farther and farther in to the woods, you're noticing that, yeah, so far nothing seems to be tracking you. You actually get fairly close to some of the dire creatures as you are trying to track down this individual. As a note, anyone who is trained in skills, anyone can chime in on these.
Anyone else have anything that'll help? Or Justice and I gonna run this down?
I mean, I could use history to, like, if there were any maps or anything like that that I've seen in the library or any lore about any of this stuff, possibly that might help us
Yeah,
see like clues of like where they might be.
yeah. Give me a history check.
Real quick, while Sorka is rolling, Boots, has anyone
He,
checked the Druid's Grove?
I believe Boots has temporarily stepped away due to other minor thing.
But like, are we heading to the Druid's Grove?
You're
Like after Lodge?
Okay.
Perfect timing.
perfect timing. You can re-ask.
So, Justice, are we heading kind of towards the Druid Grove?
Ish.
The Druid's
Well,
Grove
I'm
is
just
more
saying, like-
north than
Yeah.
where you're heading.
Okay. Well, I just, if the beasts are connected to the grove, and like, he might be trying, I don't know, it just seems like he's trying to get nature back in order, just not with magic.
A possibility, definitely. This is, as I said, this individual may turn out to be friendly, may turn out to be a good ally, or they, for all we know, they could be. They got pissed off at somebody and they don't want to deal with any humanoids.
so don't immediately attack him. Okay.
Oh, God,
okay.
no. Now, any dire creatures around, yes, because they're
Deal.
going to attack us anyways.
So, Sorka, what was your history that you got?
19.
19. From what you have read through some of the books in the library recently, there are a handful of much older lodges that the hunters don't leave on their maps anymore, that are farther out this direction. From the hunting pattern, you could probably guess that there's a very particular one that could possibly be an idea.
Okay, I will let everybody know what I am remembering from my studies.
Okay. Very useful there. Sarah, you're on his throne. Oh, man. Anyways, sorry. Okay, so we have other potential hunting lodges that this person could be that could be this person's base of operations. Okay, how are we doing on all the rolls so far? We're still good?
So far, you've gotten 3 passes. No failures yet.
Okay. Now, do we each have to do it, or can I do another?
You can do another one.
Let's do an investigation then.
No.
25.
25. As you're investigating, you notice that there are traps laid around.
Mhm.
As you're getting closer to one of these lodges. And these traps look to be new.
Okay.
They
Now
also
I
seem to be big.
Well, going after dire creatures, not a big surprise. Now at this point, I think stealth would be a good option.
Or survival to maneuver through the traps. I can do that.
Okay. Helping you out with that.
$17.
17. I know that reference. Good on you for making the reference, at least.
Well, Justice hasn't taken back that ring of animal influence either.
Really?
I completely forgot about the ring.
I think it makes sense for Castius to have it right now so that he can talk to squirrels.
Yep.
Full Cronkit.
Honestly, if you want to override
There you
and do a, I'll let you do a animal handling at advantage.
Awesome. Honestly, that's one of my better skills too.
Is it one of those that's trained?
Yeah. Oh, that's a 24.
Oh, hell yeah.
Nice.
And my dice on D&D Beyond, when it's a 20, it opens up into a treasure chest. And if it's a
cute.
1, it's a mimic.
So what I'm imagining, Dio's on the ground like inspecting for traps, as Cassius just has a squirrel on his shoulder pointing him the way through.
Hey, Kronk.
Squeak, squeak, and squeak, squeakity.
Squeak, squeakers.
I know it's no, because you actually step a little bit back, Dio.
So I don't think tongues works this way, but so even with the amulet of tongues, I don't understand what's going on.
No.
I've actually got speak with animals, but not going to use it up.
You get the gist of it.
Yep.
Just building rapport, talking about where people things
Mm-hmm.
traps are.
With that roll, that actually taps you guys out, and I even boosted your guys' fucking skill check roll numbers required because
Mm-hmm.
you guys are skill monkeys.
I picked animal handling because it made sense for a 6'9" giant spider to be like, oh, look at the squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
Every big guy I've met who is like over 6'5" and over has been a teddy bear, an absolute teddy bear.
They tend to be.
Unless you get them mad, but typically.
No, well, that's your problem at that point in time.
Well, they go from teddy bear to grizzly bear, and you know.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, because I've seen like 6'7" dudes be like, oh, look at the kitties. Like,
yep.
I don't know why, but it's beautiful, and I love seeing it.
I just don't trust you if you don't stop and go, ooh, kitty.
That's true.
Anyways, yeah, the squirrel actually leads you off away from the lodge a little bit. And you end up getting closer to this small rock formation in the middle of the forest. And amongst it, you're about 50, 60 feet out from it when the rest of the party, Dio and Justice, see it pretty quickly on it. But the rest of the party is able to start noticing that this rock formation with the moss and a couple trees just downed in the area, this has been made into a shelter that someone is actively living in.
I cast fireball. No. I don't have fireball.
Oh, good thing then. Okay, well then I'm gonna go investigate the shelter.
All right. As you get closer, you're noticing that there are bones, like partially buried. Some are made into tools. But there's a few that are partially buried in the area that are bigger than other animals.
The dire creatures, not a surprise.
Your perception does let you know that this place is currently empty. Whoever it is not currently in right now.
Okay. So looking into that, what I want to do is see, can I garner any information on this individual?
You can.
Okay.
The most information, the bare surface information that you're getting is whoever it is, they're kind of big, like Cassius big.
Okay.
The bedding area is fairly large. Looks to be designed for one person, but that person is pretty tall.
Okay. So, possibly Giantkin? Hmm. Okay.
You're also noticing that a lot of the like foodware stuff
Mhm.
that you're seeing around, which isn't a lot of it, but a lot of the stuff, which is a lot of the stuff comparatively in numbers,
Yeah.
have pretty sharp bite marks into it.
Okay. So we're talking incisors, canines, rather than more crushing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's a lot of creatures that can be that way. How tall is a troll?
Trolls are usually
They're large creatures, right? So
yeah,
they're
close to
8
20
foot
feet
plus. 20? Okay.
on average, like 15 to 20.
Okay, so definitely not a troll. Yeah, I'm still sticking with Giantkin for some reason. It's just lodged in my head.
Are you investigating inside, correct?
Yes, I am. And making sure of any traps.
Right. Who all is outside?
I'll, prob-
Cassius is
oh, I'll probably go in with Justice. So
I'll probably stay outside, but try and make sure that I have like an eye line on everyone.
I leave Noct with Raven or with Sorka. To alert me if anything is going on outside.
What is Nox perception?
Mm. 1 second. I should know this. I use this fucking stat block often enough. +3 to perception. So passive is 13.
The three of you outside notice that Lily starts getting a little fidgety for a moment. And before you can actually confirm anything from her, she heads like a little bit towards the undergrowth, and you quickly lose sight of her.
Okay.
I take the dodge action.
This is going to be random. means I have to roll this here. Cassius, what is your armor class currently?
It'd be 23 at disadvantage for the dodge action.
All right, that actually works out in your benefit. As you're, lowering yourself, getting prepared, you slightly hear a heavy whooshing sound, and you are able to dodge out of the way in the last second as a very primitive axe whirls past your head and slams into the building.
We can talk about this.
Dio and Justice, you heard it, obviously, as this thing slams to the outside of the enclosure that you're currently searching through.
Okay, out we go.
I think someone came home.
I think so too.
I like to imagine Dio was like closely inspecting the wall for some reason, right where the axe came through. Like he's got a little wood, little sawdust on his nose now.
Doggone Dio this. Wish Dio comes to bodily harm or narrowly escapes it here. What did I ever do to you?
I'm just following orders.
Fair enough.
What's up there, kitten?
Yeah,
Okay.
making sure I have all these particular resources. So out of the wooded area, in a direct line from where they had thrown the weapon, you see a 6'6" person in a dire bear pelt over their entire body. Twigs and branches and bits of shrubbery are just woven into all of this fur. And the first thing that you hear out of them is, "What are you doing at my home?"
Oh, that's a good thing.
Have Justice and I stepped outside yet?
Yes, the two of you have stepped outside.
Okay.
I'll
Well,
take the dodge action, and so are we still talking?
Yeah.
As soon as
yes,
walked out?
definitely. Definitely still talking. So we were basically looking to find you, as you seem to have had some success with the various dire creatures around here. You haven't been
Violently
approachable.
rated.
So we made a point to actually come locate you. I apologize for the intrusion in your home, but this was the only way we figured we would be able to locate you.
This person steps a bit farther out from the bush area. And you see him holding a club in his hand. He musters up his full height.
Mm-hmm.
From his slouched position, he was standing at about 6'6".
Oh shit.
At full height, this person is 7'2". The headpiece of the bear shifts back a little bit as you are now staring into the face of a dragonkin.
Okay.
And I need everyone to make me a wisdom saving throw as a fire lights in his eyes as he says, "Put down your weapons. Then we talk."
23. Oh, natural 20 to boot.
$16.
A dirty 20.
Sorry, what was it we were rolling? I was checking a text.
Wisdom.
Wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
I got a 5. I'm curling up in the fetal position.
Wisdom save, dirty 20.
Boots is the only one. You did fail, not by much. You're able to still hold on to your weapons, but this person's presence makes that you want to listen to him,
Mm-hmm.
but it's such a close enough roll that you aren't dropping your weapon, but you certainly aren't incentivized.
Well, and that's the thing. I did not have my weapons out to start with.
Right.
So I'm not going for my weapons. Is basically what it is.
Yeah.
My weapon is an owl right now, so
And your owl is probably just sitting there like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
I am weapon.
Yes. So, but that is quite the presence.
I take 10. I walk 10 foot forward, and continue dodging.
What was your total again?
He had a dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
30.
Yeah, that 10 foot is the max that you can move off of this particular range.
Sure.
With proficiency, they got a 25.
Ow.
So,
Oh, he was being intimidating. Okay.
yes.
Mhm.
Because some Dragonborn have a forceful presence.
Yes. Well, so I make a point of shaking my head to clear it, and I walk towards him, hands to the side, obvious no weapons.
What are you all doing at my home?
As I said, we were looking for the individual that was taking out the dire creatures. And the reason for that is that we were hoping to have an ally in removing the threat to the various populations around here.
I also told Bucky we would help him find his acorn, since we were already here. I know that was rude to like agree to it without talking to y'all, but I figured we could find an acorn.
I'm sure we can locate his acorn.
How will we know it's his acre? Never mind. Yeah, my compatriot said, we're not here for anything unsavory. We were simply looking for you, to see if we could reach a mutually beneficial agreement and starting to solve the crisis of the dire creatures out here. Because you seem to be more than capable.
I hold my own in my home. Is it just you five?
Where's Lily?
Cassia starts counting.
Where is Lily?
You don't see her.
I don't know.
I am doing a perception check to find out where the fuck Lily is.
Can I help him? I kind of point in the general direction I saw her last.
27.
Never mind then.
27. You see her.
Mm-hmm. Where is she?
She's about 60 feet, almost directly behind him. Bow out, arrow knocked.
Lily, stand down.
Give me an insight. And
Yes, a 20 again, 23.
all right. Yeah, she doesn't. She doesn't like this person. You can kind of see that there is almost a fog in her eyes.
Fuck. Somebody knock her out before she causes trouble.
Anyone with history that isn't in a fetal position, or even fetal position, you can take it at disadvantage if you want. History check.
I'm not trained in history, so I'm not even going to bother.
Well, would I still get disadvantage?
No, because you're not in the fetal position. What was your total roll?
20.
Of the saving throw.
20.
Yeah, so you're not. Again, Sorka got like what, 6?
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, but so I got a 20 on my history as well.
Sorka, did you roll as well?
I'm working on it right now.
Hard to do when in the fetal position.
Yeah, so 18 was my best.
No, disadvantage. Ouch.
Yeah.
18 with disadvantage. What the?
No,
It was
no,
18
no.
and 21.
Wow.
Even in the fetal position, I remember my knowledge.
Right?
You've been friends with me for how long? You should know this is completely possible. You could be in a complete funk and remember all that book shit.
Yeah. Both of you, because within the range of DC, both of you have heard, either read or through stories of word of mouth, things like that, that the last Great War in Hordun, the two largest military forces
Oh,
are
fuck.
the two ancestries that are the least natural. Half orcs, also known as war breed,
Mm-hmm.
and
And
dragon phalanx, also known as dragon knights, also known as dragonkin. This is a... You put two predators that are created with a magical submind of hunt this, and if you leave them in hunt mode long enough, nature runs its course.
Lily, I know we're not in town, but the discrimination rules still apply. They've not been outwardly hostile yet. Put it down.
You hear in Orcish,
No, who of us actually understands Orcish? Okay, good.
Because of the amulet. That's the only reason.
Yes.
give me a persuasion real quick.
Thank you. 26.
She does have advantage on resisting because how she
Yep.
is, but she still has a chance of failing. She actually doesn't say anything in reply, but she does like let the arrow down, but she is still aimed with the arrow knocked. But she does not reply to you.
Okay. That won't work.
Yeah.
I turn back to the dragonkin. Well, there's 6 of us. One's a little touchy, old blood, but they're working on it.
In the meantime, I try and see, is there a way that I can put myself between the two of them without looking like I'm going to get too close to Dragonkin.
1 second, I'm replying to a
Yep.
thing real quick. I'm going off of a very particular visual that I have seen not that far back. So please repeat what your action was planning to be.
Basically to try and intercept, get between the Dragonkin and the half orc, without approaching too close to the Dragonkin, so as not to look like I am planning anything nefarious.
So I'll give you an option of 3 different skills of just to be able to see how this visually portrays out.
Okay.
Either athletics, acrobatics, or persuasion, your choice, for trying to maneuver into position.
Acrobatics it is.
Because you're trying to move in between, and it's either going to be quick, powerfully, or persuasively.
Quick it is. 24.
So you actually, to make sure that you don't like directly physically intercept forcefully, You spread your wings out for a moment, and you launch yourself
I
basically
figured
up
I'd
and
be going over. Yeah.
and you position yourself. You're having to slightly hover a little bit, which is
I can hover all day.
yeah, it's a little awkward in this part of the forest. You can do it. No rolls necessary. It's just like it's a little awkward.
I will likely have to land before I do anything else.
But you are in a direct line.
Okay, good. So, again, we reiterate. We are not looking for conflict. We are looking for allies. And Gavin, I'm assuming by that glint in your eye and you really working hard to persuade Lily not to do anything, there's some information I do not have.
Not in particular. Just
They obviously do not like each other. He doesn't seem to, or they do not seem to be worried. Lily, on the other hand,
magic was involved. Neither of them was really supposed to exist in this world, but now they do. So tough luck, fucking deal with it. But they are natural made enemies.
oh, bonus. Magically made enemies. Gotta love that. So, by the way, sir, ma'am, my apologies on the gender. I am Justice. That's Dionysus. We have Cassius, Sorka, Wells, and of course, Lily over there.
I am Drazul.
Cool name.
You are
Just one
wanting
name.
to.
There.
You say you are wanting to remove dire creatures.
Bring them back down to, we'll say, normal percentages, normal numbers. Right now, this is threatening a very large territory. The dire moose west of the hunting lodge are getting way too close to our settlement's population. And I'm assuming all the other dire creatures that are this side are afraid of the dire moose.
Basically, it's a big fuck up, and a lot of innocent people without combat experience, and even some with combat experience, are ending up dead, and it's affecting a lot of livelihoods. So, it needs to go back to more manageable levels.
These issues are not new.
How old are they?
Started shortly after small person destroyed large building much farther west.
Where is the grove in relation to this?
Is it much further west?
No, it's east. if
Grove is
anything.
north of here.
North, yeah.
So there's an entirely different potential source. Yay!
Big building was run by small man. with smaller mind.
Like when you say small man, like him, and I point to Dio.
Smaller.
Oh,
I'm not small, thank you.
You are one of the smallest of us here.
you're not a 7'2" dragonkin either.
No, but I'm like 6'1.5".
Oh God! So, okay. Who of us is below 6 feet?
Is Lily? Lily's got to be over 6 foot.
Oh yeah, she.
Technically, Wells is 5'10".
Okay. Sorka.
Oh.
See,
I'm
small
6
man.
foot even.
Hmm?
I'm 6 foot even.
Okay, so Wells is the shortest at 5'10".
Okay, I stand corrected. Little like that, and I point to.
This building, did it happen to be tower-like in its structure?
Yes.
Oh, fuck. Do you happen to know where little tiny problem went?
No.
What's your thoughts on this, Dio?
Is this
We
a
need
little
to
tiny
go
problem?
search out the wreckage and figure out how long ago it was and where the fuck he went and what the fuck he was doing in there.
I'm assuming something magical that.
Thing
Go away.
so as rare as we thought magic was, it just hides fairly well, especially the more trained magics. There's an entire group of the fuckers across the sea. We're hoping to get some of them over here, but
Not the troublesome ones like these.
Actual wizards. And they're rare, but they're powerful. They're useful. They're also a problem.
You're telling me we've got how many kinds of dire creatures around here because of one fucking
Possibly.
wizard?
No confirmation, but I've been searching for an enchanter to aid us, and those tend to lean closer towards wizards. Book learned. That's a less instinctual branch of magic than many others. And so far, in just a short time, I was able to pull up rumors of 3. If there's rumors of 3, there's more.
What, they're like cockroaches?
As much as the wizards would like us to think that they're all holed away on the other side of the sea with the Red Lotus and all of them, I suspect many rogues are around.
Hey, DM. Can I roll an insight check to see if the Dragonkin is like how he's feeling about all this?
Sure.
Like if he's taking all of this in, or is it if he's just
It could be any other type of magic user too. Don't get me wrong.
that's a dirty 20.
Pacts with otherworldly beings can manifest in a myriad of forms.
The dire creatures that I've attacked, that I killed, were not. There wasn't anything unusual about them other than the fact that they were dire creatures.
Yeah, but see, like a warlock through their patron could be experimenting with bringing more of these creatures into the world or making them able to breed, God forbid. But in any case, generally, magic users in towers means experiments are going on and they're trying to consolidate power.
So, to get back on task, what do we need with our friend here?
Hopefully, an agreement to help us the fuck out killing shit and pointing us in the right direction to the source of the issue.
I look to him. Do you want to help us kill shit?
They look from you kind of at Justice, but you can tell Justice can even feel this, that the gaze is going past.
To Lily, yes.
Possibly if I put down Varmint first.
No, no infighting between allies. As much as you don't believe it, you two could be allies. The war is over. Times are changing. And I don't like this ingrained bullshit.
Infighting? Yeah.
Because if you two start fighting, I'm liable to put you both down. Neither
Just
side is right.
there.
Neither side is wrong. Move past.
Does he seem scared?
No.
Not even remotely.
He ponders for a moment before pulling the hood a bit farther forward. We'll show you the grove. You can study from there, like pests.
And here I had such high hopes.
Well, I mean, they can also continue just taking care of dire creatures in the area too. Like we were just mainly making sure they weren't enemies, correct?
As long as a truce can be maintained between these two magical enemies,
People.
I can live with that myself.
So our friend helps us get to the grove, and then
And then also points us in the direction of that frickin' tower.
Give
Yeah,
me
'cause that-
a Justice, give me a survival check. At advantage.
Advantage?
Yeah. It's basically a map-ish-ness.
25.
25. You have a strong feeling that one of the buildings that they could be referring to is the manor, which is west of here.
But that is not a tower.
But it has a few towering parts of it.
And it also has the previous occupant of said tower was short
I asked if that was our problem.
and was very small minded. And we made sure that we got rid of him. I almost regret not killing him. So he had something going on. Oh. So we're going to have to go back to the manor to see if there's anything hidden in there after we go check on the grove. Well, Drizzle, lead the way to the grove, please.
He goes over to the shelter for a moment, pulls out the axe, which, from the sizing of it, is a battle axe in his hands. Not a great axe, but
Mhm.
good size
In his hand,
in his hands.
Mhm.
I could wield it. I didn't say as a battle axe.
He does start leading you the way towards the grove.
Okay, deal. What you missed was the possibility that the building was the manor. And the previous occupant matches the description. Small man with smaller mind. We're going to have to go inspect the manor again.
I mean, do you think he'd be able to find it better?
Well, it wasn't blown up when we occupied it,
Hmm.
and the dire creatures were still a problem. So
They were lightly a problem. It's since we exiled the individual, things have gotten worse. I'm starting to regret not killing him.
same.
We could fix that problem, maybe.
Oh, I fully intend to when I next find him, and then I will take his bloody necklace.
After a thorough interrogation.
Yes, very much so.
Sorka can resurrect people, can't she?
I don't want to spend those kinds of funds.
Yeah, wait, expensive to use on an enemy.
But it gets a point across during an interrogation.
Well, we can get them to the point of death and stabilize them and bring them
It
back.
also fits loopholes. If anybody has a Gaius to keep anything, not that this fucker would have it, but if somebody has a Gaius to keep the secret to the grave, and you kill them and then bring them back, well, they've been to the grave. Now they can tell you the secret.
Mhm.
Gaius
And
is
then we can
dead.
put them in the grave again.
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
Oh, damn it. Being nice doesn't pay off.
You guys are way more criminals than you are barons. I like
No.
you.
We're realistic.
Most barons are more criminal than baron. It's part of
That-
being power. I've been a criminal longer than you have been alive. Okay.
I don't know if that's true.
Okay, considering that we're on our way to the Grove, it's 10 minutes to end of session, if I recall. Can we call it here? Because unfortunately, I've got crap happening here that needs to be taken care of.
We can call it. This has been very fun. I look forward to next session when you guys get to the Grove.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are certain things that I've been itching about.
I wanted to fight.
Oh, I'm sure you'll get that chance.
Next session, do you want to kill some monsters?
This is gonna get
Yes.
fun.
I saw that. I saw that.
All right, so until next time, be well, roll safe, and enjoy the tavern. Bye.
2 seconds, bud.